What is up, planet Earth and beyond? It's me, JJ here, and yes, today we're doing things very differently. As you can see, I am starting out with a finished mock. This mock I finished almost a month ago now, and have been meaning to make this video for over a month. Was supposed to make multiple videos leading up to it, but simply just didn't have time. So, with that, this is my contest entry for the Wave Built contest here on YouTube, held by Duck Brick Studios and Christian Faber. And I've been meaning to make this video for the last several weeks, but I recently got a large haul, and this is sort of what's left. The box on the left there is all fake Lego. Don't worry about that. But I'm boiling down to the last little bit here of the large lot that I'll show here now. So every year there is a special place where I go to get Lego on sale and in bulk, and it usually takes me the whole day to find it because it's not the only thing sold. But this is my haul today, and I went a little overboard than I usually do, but I've been working tons of overtime to make this possible. So there ended up being a lot more smaller pieces in this lot, and originally I thought that I didn't get nearly as many pieces as I usually do when I go to this event that I went to, but I ended up getting a lot more pieces that are just small. Like, I think I probably quadrupled my amount of studs from this haul, but that's really what's taken up a lot of my time over the last couple of weeks and has made making this video very prolonged. But with Duckbricks announcing the video today, I really wanted to take a break from this and focus on getting this video out. So if you guys enjoy this mock and want to see it be part of whatever media form that Christian Faber's Rebel Nature takes place, please, if you could take a minute and vote for my build in the contest, it would show Christian Faber that, you know, people are interested in this idea and that he should include it in his media, whatever form that ends up taking place. According to the Duck Bricks channel, their video for the contest entry for voting just started today. And so, according to what he said, it should be a board game is what it's sounding like. But things are still very much in the works. So, trying to get as much support possible for this Rebel Nature. You know, I really enjoyed a lot of the things that Christian Faber designed for Lego, and really would like to continue to help him in supporting and creating new content as a content creator. Myself, it means the world when your fans support you. And so thank you so much if you take the time. I'm going to attempt to link the entry here in the description for the contest for voting. I'm not 100% sure how to do that. This will be my first time attempting to do so. But if I cannot get that to link into the video, please head over to the Duck Bricks. It is the Wave Built contest video, and he has the entry listed in his video there and instructions on how to vote. So with that, let's go ahead and dive into the building process of this monstrosity. Okay, so I have the general shape of the island laid out here in the different colors, and then the blue is going to be the ocean around it, and I'm going to kind of do this wave effect going in all around it. Here is intentionally empty because that's where the battery cache is going to be. I'm going to have this angled out here where the boat will be, and that's where the crab will be caught in the mesh, and you'll be able to just make the decision on whether to save it or kill it to get the battery pack. So this is kind of where I'm at this point. Just kind of giving a quick update here. Okay, so it's been a couple of days. I've been working a lot lately, but I finally have the entire bottom of the base bricked out and sideways built in every direction to allow this black border So we've got an all-around black border going all around the whole thing. That's built with the snot techniques, and then they're also secured properly to this. Doing the math for that was a lot of fun. That goes there, but I think the end result created a much stronger base for me to work on. So I just need to finish getting the edges of this done so that I can start working on the actual sand color, which will be the tan. I kind of wanted to start with the dark tan as the wet water, as the wet sand closest to the ocean. And so as you get farther in, it'll go from the dark tan to the light or the regular tan, and then the island will start building up here. I might start working on the crab as soon as I get this surrounding border done, just so that I kind of have an idea of how big to build the cave entrance and whatnot, because if I build the cave entrance too small or too big, it won't really make sense. So I might work on the crab after I finish tiling this off. Alright, so yeah, when I went to go get crab pieces, I ended up getting distracted and building this sea creature that is partially decaying. I really wanted to capture the bionicle essence that has died and is part of the MOC, especially with this being for Christian Faber. I really wanted to pay homage to some of his creations. And so I just had to throw in a little something bionicle. I will be adding more bionicle stuff later, but just really wanted to emphasize that throughout this MOC. So I got a little carried away when I started building and meant to film, but I haven't. For some reason, I just cannot handle depth perception, and as you can tell, the crab got massive, and so we're gonna have to go in and shrink it down. It's half the size of the island, and I just don't want to build a cave this big. I don't have time. It won't look good, so we're gonna shrink this down. But just kind of want to film what I have before shrinking it down. Back to the drawing board. Alright, so quick little update. The crab's face needs a lot of work, so don't pay attention to that. But I've shrunk it down considerably. I've given him a much smaller robotic arm. He also has another robotic leg controlled by the AI. I haven't fully figured that part out yet, but just kind of stepping in here and finally have everything beached off. So now I'll be again the different areas and whatnot. So hoping to have somewhat of a cave. Still seems a little small for a cave. I don't know. I might not even go with a cave. I might just have a mountain here now that I'm reevaluating what this actually is size-wise. Seeing it here in the picture, I don't think a cave's going to work. We'll figure that out. I was able to build some of the shipping containers here, and as you can tell, the green ooze is been dripping out and going into the ocean, and our crab buddy here has been consuming as much as he can, and we kind of have the empty vats here. I'm really excited with how these shipping containers turn out. I kind of want to do a third one somewhere. I'm not sure entirely how or where yet. Maybe that's what if I have time, with the docked Maria will look like. Maybe I could even have the Maria coming off of this side. I don't know yet. We'll see. But I'm really excited with how this is coming out. I really love the way that the doors on the shipping containers turned out. I just kind of threw pieces together and just really love how that looks like a shipping container. So I'm just blown away with how well this is coming along. It's taking me so much longer than I thought, but it's really paying off in the long run. Alright, so I've gone ahead here and I've added 2 more crates. I wanted the whole island to be made out of them, but I just don't know how to make that sturdy, so we're just doing this here. I kind of like the angles that I've got going here. This one's kind of smashed in, and into the ground. And so we just have all these crates. Now, next we're going to be working on is the cave entrance and the mountain that's going to go in this area here. So I got a little ahead of myself here, but I've gone ahead and I switched out these two containers. As I started building to the mountain, you really couldn't see the details of this one anymore, which this one doesn't have those details, so it actually looks better hidden inside of the mountain. And so I've gone ahead and done that. I've created a small little cavern back here just so that this part is actually built up higher. I wanted it to come out, extend further. I probably will still extend the entire cave out and actually the entire mountain out in a lot of directions so that it's actually bigger on top than it is on the actual base so that it can fully support what I want it to. But I'm really enjoying how this is turning out. I've got a lot more straight edges than I originally anticipated on doing. It adds kind of a shale effect of just large chunks that are broken and chunked off. And so I don't really want it to be just a continual mountain that is slowly jagged up and getting smaller. I actually want it to be huge chunks of it going in straight up edges so that it's impossible to scale. And then the front end here, I wanted to build a whole cave and stuff inside, but given the size of the island and the size of the crab I made, it's just not very feasible, and it just doesn't scale correctly, and I don't have the time. So I'm just quickly building up the idea of a cave, and that'll be completely blocked in. So I've gone in and I've added some foliage around the mask here. I've also added a bunch more glass and some seashells and some random broken sink, and just trying to really, I'm probably going to continue adding a bunch more garbage, but my main focus has been building up the mountain at the moment, just trying to get things flowing over here. I really like the way that this is all coming in and kind of get the facade that, if this goes in and goes deeper. I really probably should do more to make it seem deeper, but I haven't really figured out more on that. I've mostly been focusing on trying to add foliage as I've been going around the edges here, just trying to get a nice shaping. And I'm really liking this area in here and just the dynamic texture that I'm getting from this, trying to keep the island vibe going with lots of foliage and random colored plants and whatnot. The bionicle lid here will be covered up when I'm finished here. I'm going to try to go to about this point here, and then once I hit that point, I'm going to start snot building. And so I'll start angling it all on its side just to kind of give it some more texture here. But I'm not 100% sure how I want the top of the mountain to round off. If I want it to kind of just end, I've thought about, if I have time, maybe adding some kind of signal tower on top over here on the right, just somewhere in this area here, adding a signal tower, but I guess we'll see when I get there. I just kind of wanted to give a quick update on where I'm going. I'm just kind of going with some rock work throughout here, give it some little spits of greenery and stuff. I've got the beach that kind of is a second beach up here. Why? Who knows? Yeah, I'm really trying to add in some snot building to just give it some different textures here in the front and make it curve a little better as we're getting smaller towards the top. Still got to figure out what to do with Mr. Crabface here. Again, I've gotten a little ahead of myself with filming. I'm just trying to get this knocked out as quick as possible. I've gone in and added a bunch more foliage throughout here. And then I've started adding some trees on this side of the mountain. So, yeah. I'm hoping to continue to rock face this up. I'm still debating on whether or not to add some kind of watchtower or signal tower in this area here. I'm getting really constrained on time here, so I don't know how much I'll actually be able to do in those regards. But as the days are whittling down and my time at work has been relentless, it is finally time to turn our attention to this monstrosity and figure out what I'm going to do with this face. I've got some ideas. probably going to end up dismantling and redesigning the whole thing's face, at least the top half. So we'll see where it goes. So as I'm filming here, I've gotten most of the rock work done on the upper portion of our island here, and I am now moving into the tree section. I've kind of got this choppy leaf look going on with the tree leaf piece and then a bunch of these diagonal slopes. And so, yeah, that's kind of where I'm at right now with that. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to keep this tree in the same pattern as I'm getting low on these pieces. So I might just finish off this area here, this tree here, with this one, and then maybe come up with a different style, technique, or just color for the top tree. And here we have the final product. I'm really excited with how this turned out, and with my final build for the Rebel Nature building contest held by Duck Brick Studio on YouTube. And I just kind of wanted to give a 360 view of what the whole build looks like. The final product ended up being a lot more mountain and trees than beach than I originally had planned. But I'm really excited with how this turned out. I've heard in the Rebel Nature that there is this drink that is being shipped here, and has some of the shipping containers have began to pile up on this island, and the containment has leaked out here, and the local crustaceans and animals have been indulging it, and in doing so, they unknowingly began to mutate. And with this one's particular giant size, it had gotten attacked by some of the larger beasts that are in the water in this area. And so it also was able to come in contact with some AI. The AI began fusing with the crab here and is helping control it. It has a battery pack here that is attached. The back leg here is also robotic. I'll go ahead and flip that around so you can kind of see that leg there is robotic, and it is run by this battery pack that our main protagonist here is going to be given the option of either taking the battery pack from the crab and essentially, using it to fuel her submarine or whatever ship that she's using to get around. We'll set that aside for right now. And then should she choose to help the crab rather than steal from it, the crab is actually going to offer her 2 more larger battery packs. So that's kind of a little bit of the story for why I designed this beach and what the goals of the beach are in terms of storyline. The cave ended up being much smaller than I originally planned on building it. I just didn't have the time or space, so I kind of blacked it out there. If the crab turns sideways, he can kind of crawl in there, but I really wanted it to be kind of a tighter hole, kind of much more comfortable for the crab. I'm going to go ahead and turn this around. And here we have the back half of it. I've got a couple more shipping containers. I've got some of the smaller crabs that haven't digested the fluids that mutate the larger crabs here. I really want to give it lots of foliage just all throughout the island. It's a very tropical island, and so things are growing. If you're curious what all the colored specks are supposed to be throughout the model here and throughout the front here, I really wanted it to focus kind of on what Rebel Nature focuses on, and that is the effects that humans are having on nature and just the utter garbage that is washing up in the ocean. And so I've just kind of got a bunch of different colors. Got a little sink there, lots of bottles, just trying to showcase that all this garbage is just washed up on this beach, including this old decaying skeleton. Here we have my homage to the death of Bionicle. In the story that I've created here, this is a sea creature that has washed up after drinking some of the mutation liquids, and it has passed on. And so I really just want to kind of add some more Bionicle features to the build in homage to my love for Christian Faber and for all that he did in that, since this is his contest here. I decided to add a second smaller beach up here on top of the mountain. Just kind of wanted to give it some more diversity. And then lastly here, I just want to focus on the main character that I've seen. Obviously, LEGO hasn't actually made anything from Rebel Nature yet. Hoping that they will. It sounds like a really cool concept. So I just kind of used a hodgepodge of different pieces to kind of showcase some of the different designs that I've seen online and kind of come somewhat close to it. I know some images have her having a more darker hair, but I really liked the more red hair that some of the images showcased, and so I went with that for this build. She's got her tool case here to help the crab, but with the piece usage I had, this was as close as I could get to some of the reference art. So that sums up the story and all of my excuses. I'm hoping to get back into MOC building within the next couple weeks. I've still got a little bit of sorting, as you saw, and I've got to take down this monstrosity. I know a lot of people build MOCs and leave them built, but I really want to be able to utilize all of my pieces in future MOCs. My Arkham set is sadly just sitting here in pieces right now, and I really need to get back to that. And so hopefully in the next couple of days, I'll be able to get this all sorted and get the MOC all dismantled and really focus on building just one MOC at a time. Please ignore the things on the left and the right. I have not been very good about focusing on MOC building lately, but my goal is to get back into it. I kind of took a little hiatus there, but I'm really striving to get back into this, so please bear with me with the chaos of my life. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and follow along. Hit that subscribe button for future MOCs. I'm really excited to continue our MOC building experiences. I've got several things in the works that I am planning for in the future with different mechs. I've been slowly building up my collection with a lot of things. As you saw, a couple Exoforce things sneak in here and there. I've been building up pieces for Exoforce, a giant Exoforce MOC that I am planning on making. I've got like 7 MOCs that I'm planning on making. It's just making the time to do so. So my goal is to try to stop buying more LEGO right now and to really just focus on MOC building. And with the summer coming up, my time is going to be even more limited, as unfortunately my chore list gets longer with the grass and whatnot. But please bear with me, as I will. My goal is to start trying to make one video a week, even if it's just a small 2-minute video, just something to keep up with the algorithm so that I don't get completely behind during the summer months. Hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next video.